Thumbelina, written by Hans Christian Andersen. Once upon a time, there lived a woman who was very lonely and longed to have a child of her own. She spent all her time in her lovely garden, sowing and watering the plants. How I wish I had a child to love and care for, she sighed. One day, while she was working in the garden, an old woman visited her. "Why do you look so sad, my dear?" she said. "I have no children. I'm so lonely," said the woman. "Sow this magic seed in a pot tonight," said the old woman. "In the morning, you will have the child you want so much." The woman sowed the seed in a pot, watered it, and left it by the window. When she woke up in the next morning, she was delighted to find that the seed has grown into a plant with a small yellow bud. As she looked, the bud bloomed into a lovely flower, and kneeling on the flower was a tiny little girl. "Oh," cried the woman, "you are as small as my thumb, so I shall call you Thumbelina." She made Thumbelina a bed out of walnut shell and lined it with soft cotton. Every night she kissed Thumbelina and tucked her with her bed by the window. One night there was a terrible storm. A strong gust of wind shook the branches of the trees. The wind blew Thumbelina's shell out of the open window into the lily pond just below. Thumbelina fell out of her bed onto a leaf. She lay there fast asleep. A family of toads lived beside the lily pond. Next morning, when the sun came up, Mother Toad hopped around the pond looking for flies. Suddenly, she saw Thumbelina curled up fast asleep on a lily leaf. "What a pretty little bride she will make for my son," she croaked. Mother Toad hopped away to call her son. Thumbelina woke up and was amazed to find two toads staring at her. She screamed in fear as they began pushing the lily leaf towards the tall weeds at the edge of the pond. "Don't be afraid," croaked Mother Toad. But Thumbelina went on screaming. A butterfly heard Thumbelina's cries. He swooped down and said to her, "Quick, climb up on my back." The butterfly took her to the house of a kind old mouse who lived at the foot of a large tree. Then Thumbelina told him that she had no home. He invited her to live with him. One day, an old mole visited the mouse. He had a long snout and smoked a pipe. He liked Thumbelina and wanted to marry her. The mole took her to see the tunnel under the ground where he lived. Thumbelina did not like the mole's house. It was cold and dark. In the mole's house, Thumbelina saw a swallow who was hurt. An eagle flying past had dropped him on a thorny bush, and the mole had brought him home. Thumbelina took out the thorns from the swallow's body, put some ointment and on all his wounds and tied bandages around them. Thumbelina took care of the swallow all through winter. Soon he was well again. They became good friends. "I don't want to marry the mole," sobbed Thumbelina one day. "Then come away with me," said the swallow. And together they flew to the land of summer. In the land of summer, Thumbelina met a prince who was just as shiny as she was. He fell in love with her. "Will you marry me?" he asked. "Oh yes," said Thumbelina. The prince took her to meet his parents, and they got married and lived happily.